Hello, my friends. I will be right with you in a moment. I'm grabbing my notebook. Hello, everyone. How are you this third day in March? It's hard to believe. Hope you all are doing well. Welcome in. Welcome back to any of you who are returning, and those of you who are having a first visit with us. We hope you enjoy yourself. I'm going to go ahead and hide this banner. Go ahead and hide that. There. We are going to talk about the interview today that CP and KP did together. Hello, everyone. Hi, Kendall, like the motor oil. Momo 5, Justice for Kylo. Little Red, thank you for being here to mod. Maui Sun. Hi, Miriam. Catherine. Whispering Winds, thank you for being here to mod. William Brooklyn, hello. Meow. Robin. Mike Elliott. Brown Eyed Girl, CC, thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoy the lives. We have a good time. Linda, hello. Appreciate all of you being here. Hi, Donna. Patricia, we are going to be talking about the interview that was done with KP and CP. And we are going to kind of go over a few things that I noticed in the interview. And we are going to listen to it together. One thing that I noticed is I felt like, in my opinion, that there was a little bit of maybe leading in it instead of questioning. And I was hoping to hear more of a answer from, instead of a lead answer, one that was coming out authentically, if I could say. But welcome in, everyone. I'm glad to see you. We are talking about Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. He is 16 years old. They had a beautiful vigil from him the other day. By the way, the reason I didn't put up my videos is they certainly weren't as pretty as the actual videos that were coming out from the vigil. So just a beautiful vigil, the prayers, the music, the worship. Seth's prayer was beautiful, powerful as usual. And we wish to bring this young man home. And we know, as you read the poll today, if you haven't taken the poll, we are operating on the theory that Sebastian is still with us. Per Seth's request, that's what we're doing. And I don't want this thumbnail, there were some words in her interview that did disturb me, and I feel like we need to look at them, okay? And but we are still looking to rescue Sebastian. I'm just was concerned of a couple of words that were used. One thing that I will say about this interview is, in my opinion, I was grateful that CP sat there as support rather than taking over the conversation. And I really appreciated being able to watch, observe, listen to KP. So, and I know I've got Sebastian's army. So many of you here in the house went to the vigil, been doing flyers, going and searching. Several of you lately have been out searching. Absolutely amazing. And we appreciate anything any of you can do, whether it's come in and listen, hit the thumbs up so someone else will know about the video and learn about Sebastian. Whatever it is you do, maybe you're home saying a prayer, Maybe you're boots on the ground. Maybe you're creating a video. Maybe you're thinking about him, talking about him. Whatever it is, whatever your role is or your talent in helping in Sebastian's army, thank you so much. Seth relies on everyone, and it's a team that's not going to stop and not going to step away from him. So we are going to talk about a few things. One thing that I want to bring up, and I did grab the wrong notebook, but I know some of the things that I want to bring up before I get the interview started, is that KP does use the term when is asked by Holly Thompson, what would you do if he comes through the door? And she says, I would probably bulldoze him over. Well, I heard that in my head and I thought, what a poor choice of words, especially because the construction site's been such a point of contention in this disappearance, right? And then at the end, when Holly asked her, what message she would like to say, and she started talking about, thanking people, and she said, and thank you for spreading him. And she said, spreading awareness, but was that a slip? I hope not. Another thing that was mentioned, which I thought's really interesting in her other interview, I believe it was, where she said that cadaver dogs were brought through. Now, we know from TBI's newsroom that they did have that bloodhounds were out there. Bloodhounds are often cadaver dogs, and cadaver dogs are 95% correct. And they can even detect a body that has been removed from a location. And so there was no detection of Sebastian. KP had indicated that he was brought to, or that the cadaver dogs were brought into the home. And then I went on the newsroom and checked with TBI, and it mentioned bloodhounds, and I went and cross-referenced that to make sure they were indeed usually often cadaver dogs, and they are often 95% accurate. What that tells me is that Sebastian was most likely with us when he was removed from the home. Otherwise, you all, if there had been a tragic accident there, or there had been something happening in the home, the cadaver dogs would have hit, in my opinion. What do you all think about that? So I really do think Sebastian left that home with us alive. And I prayed, no one showed us differently. No one has showed us differently. And I know we all think that the uninterest of a mother would mean that, or allowing him to remain in a home, or allowing CP to remain in a home even, or remaining married to someone who, is responsible for allegedly 5 CPS reports. Those kind of things that are going on, and they're concerning, right? They're very concerning, and we're going to talk about a lot of them. Aw, Jenny Mount, you've been part of our group for 4 months. Says, proud to be part of this family. Thank you so much. We are very proud to have you, my friend. We are a community that stays out of the drama. I'm trying to, the best of my ability, support, and well, you know me. If there is no proof other than proof of life, last proof of life, then I keep hope. Now, am I looking down other avenues? Absolutely, of course. But I keep hope. And when I hear cadaver dog went through and bloodhounds, they're 95% correct. And I'm telling you, my friends, in my opinion, Sebastian was maybe medicated, but with us when he was removed from the home. And that is my opinion. Because I have an opinion for all of you, and I don't want to get started right into everything because I like to talk to y'all for a little bit. But one thing I wanted to ask you is, if I have anyone in here, CC, hun, can you do me a favor, CC, and go back to those videos, if you don't mind? I just want to cover this. How about this, Cece, if I have time at the end, but I do want to make sure that I get all of this covered. Mini Panthers, hello, my friend. I'm glad you're in here because I want, you know what we were talking about? I have to do it after this show, go into studio. So thank you for being here. Everyone, thank you for being here. What was I talking about? I've got to stop looking at the comments. Oh, here's my question. For those of you, and in this community, we are more than welcome to disagree. Okay. We learn from each other. We don't have to agree with each other, but I want you to all to feel comfortable sharing because this is a true story or true question that I have for you. For those of you who do believe that Sebastian left on his own, like ran away on his own, and we're not, no one's jumping on you. Cat in the Shadows, KP said cadaver dogs were taken in the home. Now, bloodhounds were there, so they would have detected a cadaver. They were around, they were at the scene. Bloodhounds were, Cat in the Shadows. Now, KP said in the interview, cadaver dogs were brought into the house. Did she not? But hi, Robin. Hello, everyone. But Kat, let me know because I always want to be corrected if we're wrong. Okay. But so my question is, because it's okay, we're okay to disagree. Don't feel like we're all going to jump on you. No one is in this community. For those of you who feel that, hey, keep up the chatter. For those of you who feel that so still at this point, you feel Sebastian ran away, walked away of his own volition. It's fine. I have a question for you. Oh, I hope that wasn't a slip too, Holly. Yes. I have a question for you, and it's a real logical question. From what you've seen and heard of the evidence, no evidence, how do you believe if he ran away on his own, he got out of the house? That's what I want to know. Because I'm trying to support everyone's theories. And I know most of us feel certain ways, but that doesn't mean all of us do. But I can't wrap my head around him walking out on his own for so very many reasons. Hey, everyone. For so very many reasons. So I want someone to tell me, how can you? What is it that keeps you there that he ran away? What is it that supports that theory to you? And we're really wanting to think along the lines of, I just want to hear you out because I can't wrap my head around that because there was no scent. The doors were locked. And I know they said he knew the code, but later on CP said, well, he couldn't have punched in the code because it would have illuminated and the neighbor's Ring camera would have picked it up. So I'm just really confused as to how some people do believe he still ran away. No criticism, just curiosity. And that's the truth. That's what I mean. Because in my theory, in my head, and I'm not a professional, glad to catch you on a live. Glad to have you here, Christine Alaska. And thank you for your support for 3 months. In my theory, in my thinking, the doors were locked. A flashlight ran back to the home. The person who said she was with him was still in the home, but Sebastian was not. He was not caught on footage. He was not seen by eyewitnesses that were being told. Correct, Margaret. But there are some people who feel that way. So I want to honor, if any of you are in the chat, I don't want to just ignore your theories because I don't know. I'm just giving mine, right? So I can't wrap my head around it because CP eliminated every exit, the windows, because they'd hear him, the garage man door that he knew the code to because everyone would have heard him. He didn't have a key to this one to lock it back up. So I don't know how individuals who feel he ran away think it happened. And that's what I want to know. Okay, mods, I'm going to need you to be on top of our dear chat today. We have haters in here, and let's just remove them, please. Just get here. I'll go ahead and remove them. Not today, Satan. You're out. You are out. Okay, so we are going to, oops, it's the wrong person. Sorry, I banned the wrong person. You guys help me. I banned one of my mods by accident because it changed on me. Hold on. Oh my goodness. Can you guys unban what I ban? There. Can you guys unban when I ban? How do I undo her? Hold on. Hi, everyone. Mods, will you take over for 1 second while I go into studio and try and unban? Just a second. Okay, if anyone has "It's me, Jen's" message, or go into our group me, please, and let her know I made a mistake and I will have to figure it out after. I'm so sorry. Just if one of you will go into the group me, because I left my phone at work. So, been a busy day, my friends. So I just, I worry about the past tense talk. I worry about some of that stuff, and we're going to watch some of it together, and I'm going to be stopping it as we go through so we can discuss some of the things said. Hold tight, and I'm going to pull up the interview. Thank you all for being here. I know you all. I'm trying to find the interview, so just stand tight with stand tight with everyone in the can you all hear me now? Can you all hear me now? Just stay tight. I'm just pulling up the video. What channel was that one on that they did it together? Was it WSMV? WSMV? Let me Google it real quick. Sorry, y'all. I don't know why I didn't have it pulled up. So we are talking about Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. He has been missing over a year ago. He was last seen, law enforcement has recently come out and corrected the date, last seen February 25th, 2024, reported missing February 26th, 2024, out of his home in Hendersonville, Tennessee. He was 15 at the time. He is now 16. And his father had a vigil for him. Thank you. It's me, Jen. You are beyond gracious after my mistake, love. Thank you so much. He has been missing. His father has been searching diligently. He has a strong team and Sebastian's army behind him. Thank you so much, me, Jen. It's me, Jen, for that super sticker. And we are going to never give up and hope that he is brought home very, very soon. Okay. I'm going to leave the chat for a moment while I go pull up that interview. I don't know why I'm in such a hard time today. I raced home though. I was at work late today. One moment, friends. Hold on, y'all. For some reason, it's telling me it's not available. So just a second. I don't know what's going on. Hold on one second. Okay, hold on, friends. I got
and across the country. Yeah. 1 year ago today, Sebastian Rogers vanished from his Hendersonville home without a trace. Hundreds of tips have poured in, but still no Sebastian. Sebastian's mother and stepdad sat down with our Holly Thompson, who joins us now with how they're handling everything 1 year later.
Tonight, in my one-on-one with Katie and Chris Brownfoot, you'll hear about the unwavering hope this family is clinging to, and their message to you as they vow they will never give up in the search for their son. It's a living nightmare, to be honest with you. The teen with autism disappeared from his mom and stepdad's Hendersonville home in the overnight hours of February 26th. What would you say to him when you walked in that door? Oh, God, I don't know if I'd be able to speak. I'd probably bulldoze him down with hugs. Honestly, when I picture that, I just picture being able to hug him, to hold him, to smell it. I mean, just to be able to hear his voice, to hear his laugh. The teen with autism disappeared from his mom and stepdad's Hendersonville home in the overnight hours of February 26th.
We do believe there's a chance it's Sebastian. We're trying to find out if that could be the case.
Steve Fisher, a private investigator hired by Katie and Chris Brownfoot, says this video that first aired on WSMV4 could be a new lead in the ongoing search for Sebastian. Video from the night Sebastian disappeared.
We went through over 100 hours of surveillance, and we have.
And I want to.
In the same neighborhood that Sebastian's from, that walks southbound in the neighborhood, goes behind a vehicle. It appears that they're trying to stay out of sight of another person that's walking their dog, and then doubles back after it's clear.
Fisher says he's.
Hey, I just wanted to talk about one thing. This has been debunked, this video, by law enforcement. I find it very interesting that they're not letting it go. They want the identity confirmed, yet they didn't want that from the green hoodie video, which is very shocking to me. Why are we picking and choosing? I'd want to see everything, right? Know everything, have everything confirmed. So let's keep going. She says she would bulldoze him down. I hope that was just a bad choice of words. Did you notice the way she crinkled her nose when she said, and smell him? Did anyone notice that? Okay, let's keep going.
Working to learn if that person wearing dark clothing in the video is accounted for in the investigation.
It actually gives us more rejuvenated hope that we may actually be onto something. We just have to run it down.
Over the last 12 months, emergency responders and volunteers spent hundreds of hours searching for the missing teen. Drone mapping, ground searches, scent dogs, and the scouring of surveillance video. Why do you think Sebastian is still missing?
That's tough to say. I mean, it was the largest manhunt in Tennessee history for a child. And absolutely zero evidence. There's nothing out there. Law enforcement's working diligently. They're working hard over and over and over.
What do you want to say to anyone out there who wants to say that one of you could have something to do with Sebastian's disappearance?
I would say to pause and to think, and I would say to consider the sources of information. Try to make sure that you're getting legitimate information. Avoid the rumors.
Katie and Chris say they're determined to bring their son home and want the community to stay focused.
I want to ask everyone not to forget, and I want to encourage people to keep helping and to keep bringing awareness, not only to our son, but to all of the missing children, because they all deserve to go home.
And if Sebastian's out there listening, I ask Katie what she'd want to say to it.
I would say that know that we all love you, and that there are so many people that care and so many people that are looking, and hang in there and know that we're going to find you, know that we're going to bring you home.
Investigating agencies say Sebastian's mom, stepdad, and biological father have fully cooperated, and there's no evidence to support foul play. And we also contacted law enforcement about the video in our story. The Denver County Sheriff's Office told us that law enforcement had possession of the original video that the private investigator says is new since 72 hours after Sebastian was reported missing. And after thoroughly investigating this lead, they determined it has no relevance to the case. Now, you can watch my full interview with Katie and Chris Brownfit on our WSMV4 app. Holly Thompson, WSMV4. The Amber Alert for Sebastian Rogers is still active, and the Sumner County Sheriff's Office said they're still looking for him. The sheriff posted on Facebook that his team is still following every lead and analyzing all evidence. The sheriff's office says there have been no confirmed sightings of Sebastian, but they haven't stopped trying to find him.
Excuse me. Okay, do you all find it a little odd that when asked, why is the audio giving you a headache, the path? Was the audio bad? It was doing something weird? What I find very interesting is when asked what she wants to say to Sebastian, she says, I would tell him. She's not speaking to Sebastian. Do you notice that? Instead of saying Sebastian, like, for instance, when Seth speaks, he'll say, Sebastian, if you can hear me, get to a phone. But instead she says, I would tell him, we love him. And that worries me because she's speaking as if not to him, even when asked, what would you say to him? So, my goodness, yes, no plea, being sadly being prompted to say something. Hello, all I need is Jesus. Hello, everyone. Hey, Stephen. So it is, I feel like the interview, I'm very glad that she did an interview for Sebastian's sake, because that's the right thing to do. And we complain that she wasn't, so we need to be grateful that she was. Well, not grateful, glad she did. Sadly, I think that there were a lot of telling, the eye contact, lack of, the looking up, the looking down, oftentimes alludes to deceit, discomfort. The pausing oftentimes is leading to when someone is attempting to think of what they need to say. CP hands were tightly, together and fidgeting. So I think there was a lot of discomfort involved, but I would have really loved some more questions that would have helped answer some things. Okay, instead of bringing out the video that law enforcement already says is nothing, then you might as well have brought out the Texas Roadhouse video because they said that was nothing. I think there's a lot of things that could have been asked because we haven't gotten to see the mom in so very long, right? For instance, and I know they wouldn't bring up like probably the abuse or anything, but one thing that Katie said that, one thing that she said is, I do want to clarify that he's high functioning autistic, but he's very smart. He's very capable verbally. And she said, in the beginning, somehow it got misconstrued of his capabilities. Okay, pause. In the beginning, if that were misconstrued, would you as a parent make sure, not wait for the year anniversary and be silent for months and months and months, but make sure and have that corrected months ago back in the beginning? So when she said that, that bothered me, that it had been, misleading and misconstrued based on trying to get the information out there of how, of his capabilities, his verbal capabilities, his intelligence levels. So I find that the ones who would have misconstrued it should have corrected it, possibly, most likely in the beginning. Absolutely. Why am I saying most likely? In my opinion, that should have been corrected immediately. If you as a parent know that your child is being misrepresented because misinformation or misconstrued, however it happened, doesn't matter. It's happening. Another thing of great concern to me is the cross on the tattoo. Now, I know for many Christians, we look at the cross as faith, but the cross is ultimately a symbol of death. So when I saw that cross, and for those of you who don't know what I'm speaking of, KP has put a green cross on her forearm, her wrist, I think it is, or forearm, and it's 3/4 a green heart. Then there's a break and then a cross, and they don't connect. Okay. And I just thought it was odd. I just thought it was really odd that there was a cross there right now. I guess, because to me, it means, someone's no longer with us, but it also means faith to many people. So, I don't want to judge on that, but at first it shocked me to see the cross there. So I don't know what it did for many of you, but the vigil was absolutely gorgeous, absolutely beautiful. And I love something that was said. Thank you, Whispering Winds. I love something that was said in the vigil by one of the speakers, and they had the captain of Sumner County Sheriff there. They had a commissioner there. Support from the community. Okay, Minnie Panther says, I have many tattoos, and that is most definitely a memorial tat. And once again, she can't use his name and even add to it. She's so nasty, in my opinion. Thank you, dear. You're so cute. I know, Susan Kemp. I know. Things are starting to come out. Things are starting to come out. Oh, Charlene McPike says she's going to take the picture of the tattoo to her local tattoo parlor. Good thinking. Good thinking. So the vigil was wonderful, beautiful. Seth's prayer was so powerful, but he has so much support. The music was lovely. And something that was said was, we have to treat each day like Sebastian just disappeared, not that we're a year in. And so I put out a poll today, and I know many of you don't agree with the premise that poll is based on, but for respect of Seth, that's why that poll is stated, is that poll that it is, because we do need to keep hope until they show us something different, right? That's why I left that up there, keep hope. Because the last thing we know, 100 know, in my opinion, is that Sebastian left the Texas Roadhouse February 25th, 2024, driving out of the parking lot with his mother at 6:24 p.m. Okay? As far as the timeline prior to him disappearing. That's the last thing we know for a fact. We know there's flashlights. We know there's allegedly audio, which I believe. We know there's a sedan. Okay. We know there's neighbors saying odd things. Okay. Proudfoot's doing weird things. Okay. Lots of people doing weird things in here, right? But I'm so grateful for this community, by the way. You haven't seen the cross? Judy, it's I have it on a thumbnail. It is a green cross. And instead of being a full cross and connecting, and closing, it's left open a little bit, or a full heart, I'm sorry. It's left open a little bit and a cross is fit in there, but it doesn't connect. So she did not sound very out of it. You're right. So there's things in there that were said. I feel her nose crinkled when she was talking about his smell. CP remained quiet. Now, I think that they've been listening to the public and he knew that we did not want to hear from him. I think that's great that he basically did not overpower the conversation. He was there for support, which is what we've wanted all along. But the information, there's other information that I would have liked. And I think we have a lot of questions. How I would have liked asked KP, how was the door locked, in your opinion? And also, you all, how did he get out, in your opinion? Because they eliminated, remember, all the exits. But then again, now we are hearing, and I have not verified this, none of my sources have told me this that are in the neighborhood. But another creator talked to people in the neighborhood, and I have not verified this. I have not found a second source to verify this, but I'm assuming she's a pretty good character, okay? But she said that she was told that the dining room window, now mind you, we are in February, the dining room window was open, not unlocked, left open for the night. Okay, now, if the dining room, if that is true, and the dining room window was left open all night, and you're looking for your child, you would find an open window and report that. So I'm just telling you what I heard. CP's eyes, Mike, I'm seeing what you're saying. They were moving back and forth, but he was looking down quite a bit. Quite a bit. One thing he did try to do in the full interview, and I want you all to go watch that if you want to. I didn't pull up the full interview. I pulled the other one up by mistake. Is that when they were talking about the video, they said, oh, she asked them a question. And Chris said, that's hard to say because until we know about that video, and I can't say much more because it's an ongoing investigation. So stop right there. Do you see what he did? He made it look like that's part of the ongoing investigation. Okay. And it had already been debunked. So, you know, it was, I think we didn't get a lot. Yes, I'm sure she was medicated on her first few interviews because it was a lot of trauma, whether, regardless of what any part of her role is. It would be trauma, right? Whether you're a mom who wakes up and your child's gone, or you're a mom who was involved, or a mom, you know, whatever. You're traumatic, and I'm sure you're on something to calm your nerves. And Mini Panthers just, or I keep hitting the wrong ones, y'all. I'm so sorry. Mini Panthers said, teach an interview 11 months ago. KP stated we didn't find any signs by the window. That's right, that the windows were undisturbed. I do recall that. Interesting. Well, from what we're hearing, and like I said, I have not had anyone confirm that. I'm hearing it from a YouTuber who usually, you know, her sources, her information, I've listened to her a little bit over time, and her information usually seems good. But I have not had another neighbor tell me that. But allegedly, the dining room window was left open. Now, why in February? Hi, Jennifer Gilly, Rusty Pipes, Kim French, Pop Pippi Strange, Little Red, Janine Simmons, everyone in here this evening. We're just going over a few little tidbits about the interviews. So, and another thing is that, like I said, I want to see an interview where, like Holly said, well, we talked last week. And the message you want to get across to people is, you know, and I would have loved to seen a little bit more of authentic, you know, authenticity in the answers than scripts and prepping. And I would have liked her to provide a little bit more information that I think could be out there. She did clarify that they had misrepresented, he had been misrepresented with his capabilities. He's very capable verbally. he can answer you, you know, he's smart, he's high functioning. It was misconstrued trying to get the word out. And I challenge that a little bit, then go correct that right away. You know, get on an interview and say, I want to make sure everyone knows this. This has been misconstrued in trying to get the interview out. I'm Mom. Let me tell you what to expect when you come across Sebastian. Right? So, excuse me. Sorry, y'all. Clear my throat. Let me drink a little bit of my water. And I wanted to show you an update that I saw on TBI from the 1-year anniversary. And I do want to share it with you and just go over it with you, because remember what we talked about. We know there's evidence. I talked to you about like the command center chatter. Actually, is the person in the home in here, is the person in here who asked me to go over that one thing? CP said the neighbors gave him permission to check and take care of the video from the camera while they were away. Which camera or which neighbors, Mary Lindsay? Now, I know some people were trying to say the neighbors right behind the P-Foots were away, and they were not. They were helping on Monday to search, he was, and at the vigil on Tuesday and helping Tuesday. So he did look nervous. He looked like, to me, he, from a different perspective of seeing CP before, a little before he had, you know, his head up high, a little bit more verbal and verbose and brash, confident. This time looking down, not saying anything. And I've told you all, in my opinion, that he is the weak link. I don't believe KP is. Like, for instance, if both of them were put behind bars, in my opinion, I think CP would sing before KP. And the reason being, and I've said this for a long time, is the reason being is, first off, we have our family members that have told us she's no, you know, weak link. Second of all, CP, I think, would take a deal and his family would back him and he would say whatever he needed to say to get out of jail, because he's not made for that. And he knows what they do to men who abuse children, especially men who abuse children with challenges. You know, and it's interesting because in prison, they're there for so many reasons, right? But they have a code. You hurt a kid, we're going to hurt you. So I do believe he would sing first. I do believe, all my opinion, that he would turn on KP for a deal, especially because if this motive to me is that that the family wanted faith, CB wanted faith, like she did back with Nina, remember? Okay, and so allegedly, in my opinion, that was the motive. CB wanted faith, CP wanted faith, and the situation that was occurring in the home, in my opinion, that led CPS to the house numerous times, wouldn't occur if Sebastian remained in the home. Okay, so I think it does come down to the custody of Faith, allegedly. I think that as much as when Nina had Faith, CB wanted her, I think she still wants her, right? Nina still has Faith, but she still wants her. But Sebastian kind of put a little link in that because he had a lot he was saying. He was confiding in people about what was happening. So that to me could be a motive. And opportunity obviously is available there. We have one person who was in the home alone. Now, they did a phone call allegedly for a couple of hours that night, if you'll recall, like from 9:45 originally they said, a couple hours, close to midnight. And probably that was meant to be both of their part of their alibis, I would assume, that phone call. But we know that phone call could have, you know, one thing they have, all they need to do, in my opinion, because remember, the law of norm stands up in court. All they have to do is go poll and see how many other times prior to the night Sebastian disappeared, KP and CP had an almost 3-hour phone call. And how many times since, right? That's how they could handle that. That's what they could do, in my opinion. And I know a lot of you are feeling, let me go over the things that I know, because someone did ask, and I thought, well, I'll just let you go watch the video because I don't want to say it again. But you know what? The reason I didn't want to say it again was simply because I don't know. I'm going to go over it with you all again. Okay. Law enforcement, and I hope that other person's still in the house. Please let me know you're still here with us. If oh, the neighbors straight across the street were on vacation. So to me, it sounded like arrangements had already been made. Oh, with the neighbors across the street. Interesting. Mary Lindsay is saying, Mary, have you been verified this? The neighbors straight across the street from them. They were on vacation when this happened. So to me, it sounded like arrangements had been made for CP and KP to take care of their home. Interesting. Katie is the last one to have seen him alive. So what we have, as far as the timeline goes, in my opinion, hi, Ginger Girls Mom, we have 6:24 p.m. He left. Sebastian drove out of the Texas Roadhouse with his mother. 6:33 p.m. a.m. the next day on the 26th, dispatch, it was called in. He was reported missing. An endangered alert was put out that day, and February 27th, an Amber Alert was issued. Honest to goodness, that is our timeline. We can add things like, you know, when they left a message to Seth, when the garbage truck came in and out of the neighborhood and went in front of their home, when the 911 text was sent to Seth, all of that stuff. But those are the actual, all we can really verify. Police said it did not. On other things, law enforcement said there was no scent leaving the home. We know that. Law enforcement said there was no sign of a break-in. And the doors were locked morning and night. At night when they went to bed and in the morning. So I don't know how else to explain these things. You know, it's just so befuddling. See, I do believe it's a custody thing. And I think that there's opportunity, obviously, if that's the case. And I do think that I mean, look at what happened with Nina, and I believe her story. Look at what happened with Nina. She was greeted at the door with a baseball bat by TB, which, by the way, his name's coming up quite a bit this week. Quite a bit. And I am actually, well, I'm going to be doing another members live this week because I want to share something that is very triggering. It's a theory, and I don't want it all the way out there because it would upset Seth. But I'll let you all know when I'm going to do that, okay? It's going to be, it might be right after this one, depending on when we get off, or it might be tomorrow. I'm not sure. So I just want to make sure that I do it in the right way, that it's already out there, but I don't want to make it out there more that Seth has to hear it, because he said it's very upsetting when he hears people discussing statistically that it makes sense that Sebastian's going to be recovered instead. And he asks that we keep the faith, right? I'm sure all those kids, yeah, I'm sure Nina's daughters. Thank you. All I need is Jesus. And we're going to do the grand jury thing that I talked about. We're going to put some facts out there as if the grand jury was listening for what we know. And then the things that first we'll do what's been verified, and then we'll go by the things that we've heard that would like the command post chatter and all that. So let me go into that. So around the command post chatter, there were volunteers going around. There were volunteer searchers. There were dog handlers. Day 3, there was the district attorney. Many of you in the past have asked me why the DA would be called in, and I learned via another case that they call a DA in when they believe they're going to have to go to trial and prosecute. They have a crime. Okay. So there were commissioners there. There were Sumner County deputies. There were, you name it. Search and rescue. So things were overheard. Okay. And by many people. And some of the things that were overheard was that Sebastian did not leave the whole house on his own. And it wasn't some stranger. Oh, all I need is Jesus. You are so sweet. We have a new member. And I'm going to get to that in a second, my friend. I just want to finish my sentence or finish what I'm telling you all. Just because someone had asked me and I was going to go down a different road tonight, but I'm here for you all. So I'm going to go ahead and repeat what I said. So if that person's still in the house, forgive me for saying go watch the other videos possibly. I'm going to do that for you all. I'm here for you all. Okay. And it's important we discuss it again. Okay. So what happened is, and then I'll do my thank yous. Around the command center, the searching, all these people who were there, people talk. But what was said was, so I'm telling you, law enforcement knew very early on. I don't know if it was day 1. In my opinion, it was day 2, which is why the Amber Alert went out. But they did know very, very early on, and law enforcement does have a lot of evidence. Seth is telling you the truth, and so is Tony, because they know he didn't walk away. They knew a sedan pulled up at 310 into the neighborhood. Okay. They knew it was not a stranger to be alarmed about. Now, they didn't blast that all over the public, but talk around that search party and stuff there was nothing to be afraid of. Okay. So interesting, right? They were watching footage there. They were watching footage there. Seth was over there, and someone said he was asked to go search and not hang out at the command center. So, but they saw what they saw. They knew there was a sedan that pulled up. It was dark. They knew that Sebastian did not leave on his own, and a stranger did not take him away. Okay. And they weren't, and something that I don't understand, and that's why I'm asking you, is they knew that very, very, very early on, like within the first several days, but within that first several days to, that first at that command center, it was also said, it's so hard to be able to put this in the right words without saying the exact quotes and stuff. Let me think of how to say this. We're not sure we'd be able to bring him home from his location. That's the best way I can say that to you. Okay. This was please hit the thumbs up, my dears. Please hit the thumbs up. Let's get the word out there. We don't want Sebastian's case to go cold. Okay. Then at the vigil on Tuesday night, which was the night after Sebastian was reported missing. I'm sorry, we have something going behind us. Right after the day after, there was a vigil at Beach High School. And there was a neighbor there a grown man who left the vigil in tears, saying, because someone had asked him what he had heard, because apparently he had been searching and been at the command center, and now, you know, we find out driving around in the patrol cars, and he said, it's bad, it's so, so bad, and he teared up and he left. Now, you know, when, I don't know, that's just, it's a lot, right? You know, Brandon E., that's what I was wondering, because we heard that, well, they had to turn onto Long Hollow Road, right, to get out of there. And we had the lady from New York in our live the other day giving us information. Now, she said they turned right. Okay. And that's what I was going to say, is we need to get on Google Maps and check out cameras. So they searched along Long Hollow, as it has a license plate reader, and there was nothing allegedly. Huh. Interesting. Locals. Let's let the locals weigh in on that, because maybe they can let us know if what cameras are there, you know, and stuff. Thank you for telling us that, though. Appreciate you. Okay, so those are the things that I know. Also, they were all asked in the neighborhood to turn in their footage. And then they all reported it, you know, to their neighborhood chat group. The only ones who didn't report it were the ones who lived directly behind. Okay. After neighbors were putting up that they, you know, checked their footage or sent their footage in, then KP asked them to start putting addresses down. And then they started going and asking to see the footage. Now, I don't know, you know, that's what we've been told, you know, and we've heard they knocked on doors to see the footage. So I'm interesting. So the whole thing's interesting. Yes, he does find Summer's truth. I agree. I'd like to see a recent picture, though. The picture that we've seen of him is not quite so recent. I would like to see more of a recent photo. And what I'm commenting on right now is someone saying the neighbor's son, who is an adult, looks like GH. Okay. True story, but it's an old photo. So then we also absolutely, everyone, we've reported, of course, that weird post about Sebastian allegedly being behind the Goodlettsville motel that there was a sighting. And there's 2 homes and a warehouse, and the red sports car will take you right there. One of our very own went by that hotel this morning and this evening and did not see a red sports car. Also, it's been reported to the authorities, and I'm hoping they get out there, right? Let me see if you all have any questions. Do you have any questions? When she says lady from New York, that is not where the lady lives now, just for your info. For all I know, it is confusing. It is confusing. Little Red, thank you for clarifying. The lady from New York, my question, that confuses me too. So does she live in New York now? Is that what our story is? There is a lady who called in and maybe said she was from New York. Yes, Whispering Winds, there's rumors of that too. Around 3-ish. Tells me it happened around, one girl was going to work at 5 a.m. and was asked if she noticed anything. She said no. Oh, thank you for letting us know, Brandon. Brandon said one girl was going to work at 5 a.m. and was asked if she noticed anything, and she said no. Yes, I've heard that too, Karen Alabarini. Jules DeCali says, in my opinion, at the very beginning of this, it was being said that KP had a BF. Name starts just a J. I heard that too, Jules, to Kelly, that later it was said that he stopped by, but someone said that source was incorrect. That's why I never shared that. I don't know if I shared that with you. Yeah, I just heard recently that was an incorrect, whoever is saying that. I don't know. You know, there some things they're trying to keep, you know, so that, you know, we just don't know. I don't know, Little Red Zero. We don't know, wherever he is. Wherever he is. And that could be, Little Red, that could be their way of saying he's deceased, so we're not going to be able to bring him back, right? That could be their way of saying, I look at it, and this is just my opinion. You all don't take it like this means that. It could be so many things, okay? But I think of it as trafficking, and several of you think of it as death because you can't bring him back, right? Okay, so we don't know. But for the sake of Seth, I agree, Brandon E. Absolutely, they know that. Yes, they've seen, Brandon, they saw the footage and they know that that was not a stranger enough to say that, right? And they didn't put suspect descriptions on the Amber Alert. And I ask you why? Because their suspects weren't on the run with the child at that, the ones that they were aware of, in my opinion. That's how I'm looking at it. But I don't understand why they didn't put the sedan vehicle description. I just don't know, because the public could have helped look for that car and identified it where it was. The whole nation would have been looking. I mean, look at Gabby Petito's, you know, that's how she was found. So I don't know why they didn't put the vehicle description of the sedan, because they saw the sedan. They saw the sedan in the footage. They knew it was a dark sedan, and they knew the make and model. And another peculiarity. Yes, Ellie knew it wasn't a stranger. Yes, yes, yes. So they, you know, those are things that kind of, they make sense, right? Now, as we start to think through those things logically. You know, find Summer's truth. It sounds like it, and that's why I did the poll that I did today. So I'm sorry, let me put your comments up. Forgive me, y'all. I've had a very busy day today. So and I'm just kind of blah, you know when you just never get that time to sit down and take a deep breath. Okay, so I was there today. So forgive me if I'm just not on my game tonight. So yes, Lois Roberts, that's one of my questions. Hi, Valerie. That's one of my questions that I was asking you all when I told you about this man. Okay, so you know, a law enforcement person crying, saying it's bad, it's so, so bad. Now, we don't know if he saw his footage. Like I said, all the neighbors reported their footage except that neighbor. Okay? And that neighbor has a very sophisticated system with audio and night vision. And their backyard, their cameras face P-Foot's house, back of their house. Oh, you're not needy. I look forward to being with you all. I do. You know, Mini Panthers, that's interesting. Mini Panthers said, and Find Summer's Truth said, so basically they may have given him to someone to drive away, allegedly. Yes, maybe. Someone was in that car. Okay. Remember, around 2:58, the car went up Kellen, turned around, came back down. Before the home, with all of the sophisticated cameras, it stopped. Okay. So before it got to where you would be able to, you know, right behind Proudfoot's backyard, it stopped. They're not sure which house it stopped at, but it was before 10:15. Okay, Kellen. At least 2 got out with flashlights. But there was another person, we believe, at the corner of that house, okay, doing kind of like a watch out. The car went down to the corner where that's down to that corner where it waited, right? And then we have the lights coming from KP's home. Now let's pause for a second. Could the 2 people who were walking through between the houses with the flashlights, could they have crawled through that window? But why would they? Why wouldn't KP just open a door or someone, think about that. Hi, Shining Star. Yes, yes. Y'all just don't put first and last names if you all wouldn't mind, just to protect you. Just put like Chris C or Brandon E. Thank you. Things like that. You're amazing. Thank you. We're just kind of talking right now about some of the things. So let's talk about if the window were open. Do you think, since I've been talking to neighbors, other people have been talking to neighbors, and that's never come out. Could that be something some of their friends, and I put it in quote, in the neighborhood, are being asked to say so it can come out and look like a stranger crawled through the window? The dogs would have went nuts? Yes, Little Red, great point. Hi, Crochet, we're glad you're here. Hi, Cece. Yes, Cece, we just don't know. But wouldn't the dogs have barked? Hello, Jay. Sorry, in my opinion. Sorry for what, hon? I'm not sure what you're sorry for, but we are so glad to see you. It's been a while. In the shape of a heart, smack talker. So good to see you all. You're all amazing. So if the window was open, could someone have just told this creator that? I don't know, because I don't know their source. And I'm sure they probably vetted their source. But could that source have been, So Pippi Strong says, they had people on Facebook exchanging children to strangers I heard about. Wow. Yes. Yes. And someone sent me an amazing document about when a child goes missing and stuff, and if the mother is a person of interest and the stepfather. I'm just waiting to hear back from that person for sourcing before I share it with you. But it's really interesting. It tells like the charges they can get, how long time would be in the different scenarios and stuff. It's really interesting. So I just appreciate those of you who send me all that kind of stuff. So in Facebook, they're exchanging children to strangers I heard about. Oh my gosh. So there you go. It happens, right? No matter how developed we become as a country, we never cease to amaze me at how disgusting and brutally cavemanish we can act at times. You know what I mean? They can go on Facebook back and forth with people, but can't search. Okay. CP told her to put the dogs up. Yes, even though. Hi, CG and Mike. Yes, even though. You're right. Yeah. Premeditated jammed cameras. Yes. The neighbor said some of the cameras were not working as of Friday. And then again on Tuesday, they began working on the 27th. So let's just say someone crawled through the window. Okay. Would that be someone who was with the flashlights crawled through the window and we just haven't heard all this time that a window was open from any of our sources? Have you heard that on any other channel? Hi, in the shape of a heart. Thank you for coming over from his channel. I appreciate you. He does good work. Thank you so much. So we need to really focus on bringing Sebastian home. That has to be it. These interviews didn't give us much of anything more other than admitting that Sebastian's personality and capabilities and his autism had been misconstrued, that he was not as capable and functioning as he truly is. So I am very grateful she clarified that he's very verbally capable. Okay. Many Panthers, thank you for saying that. I'm glad you brought that up because that's the one I was going to and I forgot. Many Panthers brought up a great statement. She said, would trafficking be something that would be someone that would happen when you have a child in diapers? She checked the windows, right, Brandon E? And she said there was nothing with the, oh, she said, yeah. And there was nothing with the windows. Thank you, Brandon E. Anyone knows what interview, if you can send it to me and timestamp it, because I can't watch like those 4-hour lives. And I'm not criticizing because we do them here too. Yes, they should have done this a year ago. Absolutely. If you knew, Jules, that's another one that's coming up right there. If you knew that it was being misrepresented and people are searching, and you knew from the beginning this happened, because that's what she said, trying to get that information out, you go on, you put your face, your little mug on there, and you tell the world, here's what my son is. Here he is. Here's how he acts. You don't just wait a year. You don't go silent and not correct that. You know? Okay, thank you, Susan. Thank you very much. And yes, they should have done it a year ago. Okay. I saw the program. The kids were adopted and the step parents didn't like the child, so they swap. Do you know I actually know someone that adopted a child from another country and the child was doing strange things, and they did actually gave it to a neighbor who wanted the child. I was shocked. No, I have no verification the window was open, but it was on another channel. And then KP saying that she checked the windows. That's what I want. That, and remember, they said there was no sign of breaking in. The windows were fine. The doors were all locked. So why is someone saying now, telling creator now that the window was open? I'm fearful it's to make people think someone suddenly now crawled in. Because I do not think that they expected it to go this big, to get this long. So I thought whoever did this, they believe it would be, and you know who I believe did it, but it's my opinion, would go away very quickly. But I believe the motive was custody of Faith. And I do believe if they put them both behind bars, CP would be the first one to sing, because he's not going to get her. He's not going to get Faith, in my opinion. Not with a missing child and all these things that are coming up and those 200 pages of family counseling, that things are coming out, which is another thing. Seth dropped in his live the other day that why would a mother not interact with her child in the home? So what we saw at the Texas Roadhouse that we thought was so weird, them sitting at dinner together and mom on her phone the whole time, not even talking to him, none of that. That is not unusual. I just felt so bad for Sebastian when I heard that. I felt so badly when I heard that. And Jules DeCali, you say, why did they never mention his meds? Absolutely. In the beginning, Craddock and Widener were out there saying he needs his medication. This could be dangerous, and all that, which means KP, and I'm not going to say CP because we know she was there. KP communicated to them he is on medication that he is going to need, or this is going to be dangerous. Day one, they were out there saying that. Why in none of her interviews is she saying that? Did law enforcement check the medication? Did they count them? So there's two theories. There's one theory that law enforcement, we know they've known. Well, I know they've known. Okay, they told Nancy Grace all windows and doors were locked. Thank you, Brandy and Indy. Okay. So where was I getting at? There's two theories right now. Trying to think of how to put it into words. Give me 1 second. There's two theories going on right now as far as people and the interviews, okay, and what's happening here with law enforcement and everything. Now, the two theories are this, because law enforcement, Craddock said they have evidence, they just can't share. That was in December. Okay, now they're saying having Nick Barris say no evidence, ridiculous. And they're also having him say that it's not a criminal investigation. We know an Amber Alert is criminal. We know a landfill probable cause is criminal. Okay. Oh, so all that chatter around the search and the command post in the neighborhood, about what they knew from early on. So now let's ask ourselves. I pray to God that the reason Sumner County got quiet is they were working to bring him home, right? But they were so quiet and they never asked for assistance for that vehicle. It worries me. But the other side is people think that they botched it up. They are embarrassed. And once all these eyes went on it, think about that. So if they botched it up, we know they didn't close down the construction site. They didn't do forensics allegedly. But now Katie's saying a cadaver dog went through the house, but they didn't do forensics on the house. They didn't close that down as a scene. People were walking in and out. They treated it as a runaway until the next day. Okay. We do not know. Now I heard Jen Coffindaffer say the other night that Polly's, I think it was Jen, said Polly's are usually done within an hour. Okay. So, that I doubt was the case. And so there's a lot of things. So imagine now, maybe they were being quiet, hoping it would go away in over their heads. And now that it didn't, they're embarrassed. Maybe. But, I'm hoping and praying that they didn't just know something happened to a child and turn their back on it. So what I'm hoping for is they've been working on it and that they have the paperwork and the paper trail to prove that they weren't just letting it go cold. So when it goes to trial, they say, yes, here are all the things we did every day. These are the people who spoke. So that's what they're going to have to show. But so two camps going on right now on X. Some think that they botched it. They're embarrassed now that big eyes are on it. And others feeling like they were trying, they were doing their investigative duties and just can't say anything. But then, and which is true, both could be. That could very well be, because in investigations, they don't need to tell the public anything. But what alarms me is they had a vehicle and didn't ask the public to help identify it. Because that vehicle more than likely had Sebastian in it. Right? So why in the world did we not have that description put out on that Amber Alert? Because that vehicle, that dark Nissan, and they had the make, and I've told you the make that I've been told, that dark Nissan, okay, that car more than likely had Sebastian in it. So why in the world was that vehicle not put on the Amber Alert? Because that was with Sebastian most likely. The suspects, it's very telling, right? When the suspects, they know what they know, and they do know what they know, by the way. And they didn't put suspects on. Thank you, Mini Panthers. Appreciate you. So I don't even know what to say. So my point is why were these things happening? Like, is it because now suddenly all these big people are they started getting in the game, talking to Seth, saying they do have evidence, but now they're back to having Nick Barris say, oh no, it's not a criminal investigation, but we know we don't even need to address that. That's to him. We don't have to address that. He has to answer for why he would allow someone to tell him to say that with all we know, right? Landfill search, Amber Alert. Okay. But but also to say that it's not or not that it's not a criminal investigation, that not the 3 parents have cooperated and, you know, all that. Yes, people can cooperate, but that doesn't mean the information they're providing is truth. Someone can call us and say, we'd like you all to come in right now and answer some questions. We say, absolutely, we'll be right there. We grab our jacket, we grab our keys, we drive on down there, we sit down. What can I do for you? We answer absolutely every question they ask us. We stay as long as they need us. They dismiss us all the way to the car, and we've lied the whole time, but we cooperated, right? Think about that. So I think that the suspects weren't listed because the suspects weren't with Sebastian. And I'm bringing up the diaper in just a second. I'm getting to it, Jules. Also is, you know, so there's a lot to be said. Sorry, I lost my train of thought again. But one thing that we have to talk about is, sorry, I'm uncomfortable. Excuse me, honey. Dog's there. I want to talk about the diaper thing. And Jules had put it down with the diaper as far as would trafficking, would they take a child who wears a diaper? Well, remember, 50% of the time, or not 50%, whenever he was at his dad's, he did not wear a diaper. So I don't know if they would have taken him in a diaper. I don't know. I think it should have been mentioned, absolutely. But I don't know. But okay, so let's think about this. Would labor trafficking, would they care? Oh, and Della just said, children in diapers are trafficked every day in this country. Thank you, Miss Della. Appreciate you. Okay. So you would have thought the mom would have said, you know, a year ago, it's been misrepresented. Our son is, you know, a planner, a thinker. He's bright. He's smart. He's verbally capable. All those things. Correct it then, not wait for the 1-year anniversary. So I was very disappointed, very lack of information coming from that end. Thank you, Mini Panthers. Hi, Shirley H. Yes, just so much. So much. So they knew early on. They knew. Politicians knew. People knew. Okay. Searchers, volunteers, people knew. Okay. So why didn't they release the vehicle? I can't figure that one out, you guys, because yeah, if they've got their suspects on footage and they know it's not a stranger, because we know they knew it wasn't a stranger. We know it was bad, but what do we mean by that? We don't know yet. We know that it was going to be hard to, you know, bring him back home. We don't know what that means. Does that mean, you know, he's not with us? Or does that mean he's far away or far deep? I don't know, you know? So we have so much that doesn't make sense, right? And now there's just a lot. So they knew these things, and they knew the vehicle because they saw it on the footage, and I know that. But why didn't they put that out with the Amber Alert? Let me check the comments and see if any of you. Yeah, that's true, Karen, too. Absolutely. Karen says the motive was to go to jail, not to go to jail, if found guilty of abusing a special needs child and losing everything, in my opinion. She was taking pictures of him. Absolutely, she was. Absolutely, she was. And now, there is something going around where her pictures are overlaid with the guy in the yellow jacket's phone, her phone and his phone, and they kind of match up a little bit, right? And that's on Hindsight. And I'm going to share that with you real quick. So hold tight. Let me go find that one. Find that. See if I can find it at least. I think it was in a let me see if I can find it, you guys. Oh. There it is. Get you to it. Just a minute. I will get you to it. We are going to go in and we are going to look at the pictures being overlaid. This is full credit to Hindsight, who did this, overlaid the picture of Yellow Jacket's phone and KP's phone. Where is Hindsight here? Come on, Hindsight. There you are. Okay. Let me go back over. And I'm going to enlarge it too. So I'm going to mute it for me and enlarge it. Okay, and I'll just keep playing it and then I'll come back. So what do you think, y'all, as you're looking at that? Let me hide this. Becky, I responded to you. So you can email me your number if you want, or send everything you have to FBI Nashville and DC office is my suggestion. So what do you think? Do you think I can't, those things, you know how I am about those. I just don't see them well, but I see the similarity in it. You know what I mean? I see the similarity. The similarities in the image or the figures. Yeah, Jules to Kelly, because if they go to chess camp, see, Jules to Kelly said I never could grasp on how Sebastian really was. Same. But I was at chess camp as a kid, so that gave me a clue to his ability. And kids who play chess, they can plan, strategize, think, look at the moves ahead. I'm going to make this move, and 3 moves down, this is going to happen. So in my opinion, unless he was running for his life, which Seth brought up a great point. If he was, he would have ran straight out of that house and been caught on camera, kept running. Okay. So I just don't see him leaving on his own without planning, strategizing, especially when he was left home alone before his mom got home after school. So I don't see that. I see him planning. I see him taking his things. I do. And someone asked, well, why didn't he have his phone or switch at the Texas Roadhouse? I was thinking the very same thing. Why wasn't his phone out there so he could have been, playing a game while mom was engrossed in her phone? And now we learn from Seth that part of the thing that came out in their counseling, mandatory counseling as a family, CP, KP, and Sebastian, is that KP did not interact with Sebastian in the home. So imagine that poor kid. No wonder he said things like to Seth, allegedly, they don't like me there. I'm heartbroken for him and I want to bring him home. I do. I really, really, really do. So I really do, y'all. And I want us to think of all the ways we can find where he could be. I put out a poll tonight with the premise, Sebastian's still with us. The cadaver dogs didn't pick up, did not pick up anything. So I put down some theories. And if you haven't answered the poll, will you go through and look at those theories and see which one makes more sense to you? Because we really need to just start focusing on locating him. There's not going to be a lot of information that's going to come out, I'm afraid, until that happens. You all have sent me some amazing stuff in emails that I want to look at. And I'm waiting for one person to tell me their sourcing so I can share it with you. It's Tennessee law. And it's amazing. Some of the things like she's got written down, in this circumstance, in this scenario, they get this much time. If it's a mom, she'd get that much time. A stepdad would get this much time. So I'm waiting to share that with you. So hit that notification bell and subscribe because we are going to. And like I said, I am going to share with you all and discuss with you all the very triggering theory that's been going around. But I am going to do it on members only, and I'm not doing that because I don't want all of you to see it. Oh, yeah, I'm doing it because I don't want Seth to keep hearing about it, okay? That I hate to do that, but I just, I want you all to see it if you haven't. Donna B, they went, yes. Oh, interview to interview and wrote down everything significant. I did charts. And I need to finish my charts on our slideshows so we can look at them all. So a lot of stuff. There's just a lot. We need to bring this young man home. We need to, I don't know why they knew from the beginning and we don't know where he is. I can't tell you that. But that's why I've been so frustrated now, with law enforcement. Because they kept saying they didn't know stuff, and I knew they did. And they kept saying, it's not foul play, and I knew they knew. And I didn't hear anything from them from April 2nd. And I couldn't understand. I'm like, well, what don't they care? Since you know, why don't you care? And why aren't you talking? Why aren't you releasing information? Why aren't you having the public look for people or vehicles? So now you understand my thinking as to why I've been so irritated with Sumner County. But then again, and then I'm thinking, well, guess what, guys? Now the bigwigs are coming in and you're going to be awfully embarrassed, right? Having to show what you didn't do. But then the other side of the coin is, have they been working all along? And that's the hope we have to have. And if they can't prove that, they're going to have to prove it in trial anyway, what their investigative techniques were, all of that. So we're going to hope that they're getting closer, that we're going to bring Sebastian home sooner. Remember, At Night said there are thousands of volunteers they want in Tennessee in spring and summer. Tony had wanted me to go to the vigil the other day, but I just couldn't. But they want lots of volunteers, going to start searching all of Tennessee. So I hope we find many. I hope we find Summer and all Howland and anyone else we need to find that may be no longer with us. So that's where we're at right now. And yes, Carter wrote an email saying it was a criminal investigation, therefore he couldn't FOIA something out. And Nick says there's no evidence. Yeah, exactly, Cece. Here, I'll put it up here, sorry. So yes, and that's another thing I've heard too, and I don't want to dig. I don't want to dig into that, but you all can think about that. I've heard it was a recent diagnosis that may not have even reached school yet. And yes, I did hear that. So I don't know. I'm wondering. I think we might see different things play parts in this. I don't know what it is. But yes, he was taken out at 3 a.m. In my opinion. He was taken to, whether the people who pulled up with the flashlights crawled through a window that we're hearing might be open or were waiting there. So when he was brought out, they assisted or they were let in to assist. I don't know. I don't know if they assisted. And he was carried out, taken to a vehicle. Now, I was not told anyone saw him being put in a vehicle. I'm just going to tell you that. I've never, been told they actually saw that, but he was carried that way. Obviously, there's an audio, which I believe is to be true because Chris C has audio and so do other people. So, y'all, I can't. That's why I ask again, if any of you think he walked away, please email me with how, because I don't know how it would be possible. I really don't. And when we hear things like, look at him, managing to pull this off without any evidence. Think about that. Have you ever heard CP boast about Sebastian? I think he was boasting about it allegedly himself, in my opinion. Okay. So we are 1 year in, my friends, and he is missing still. He is 16 years old. We need to bring this young man home. Look for a video that says trigger on it or something. That's what's coming. I do want to share it with all of you because there are people searching based on this information. I just don't want it to be out there because of Seth. Okay. Many of you have heard it because you've shared it with me, but it's been out there a while, but the premise has been out there a while, but she's added some extreme details to it. So it is a trigger warning, but it is another theory, and there's people who are searching, you got to search, like someone said, when you have a missing child, you search two things, right? You search as if you're rescuing them, and you search as if you're recovering them. And that's the truth. That's how it works. So we have some people who are searching based on the theory I'm going to share with you. I just want to do it in the most respectful way I can and still get you all the information, if that makes sense. Respectful to Seth. I want to thank It's Me Jen. Thank you for your super sticker. Jules to Callie. Thank you, Doll, for your super sticker. After the Storm has a question here. Teach, can you call me if you want? You changed your name again, of course. Yes. Let me eat dinner after I get off of here, and then I will call you. Sorta Morta, thank you for becoming a new member. Everyone, please welcome Sorta Morta. And Sorta Morta, I love the name. We meet 1 p.m. Eastern time on Saturdays. Jules DeCali, thank you so much. Whispering Winds, everyone, please welcome our dear friend Whispering Winds. You must have just been renewing, my friend. She's a wonderful member of our community. All of you are. Joanne McNeil's been with us for 4 months and never giving up because we are his army. You betcha. Okay. And Christina, 3 months. You all are amazing. It's time flies, right? Glad you're here. Thank you so much for being in our live. And Jen says, you're so sweet. Proud to be a part of this family. You all are incredible. We are Sebastian's army. I know many of you were at the vigil. Were any of you who are in here tonight at the vigil? And no, he didn't go out with any shoes in the dark of night, without a coat, without his switch, without his phone. But why couldn't he have his phone at the Texas Roadhouse? What was the reasoning? Think about it. What was the reasoning? Could it have been GPS? I don't know. But I find it weird that your mom's on the phone the whole time. Why wouldn't you let your teen child be on the phone playing his games or whatever he does? So hit that notification bell, please. Also, I want to ask you for your girl Jay here. I want to put out some information about Lori Vallow because her case is coming up here in Arizona. And Brian Kohlberger, because he is claiming, or they are claiming, he may have autism as part of his defense. Seriously, you all. So if you all would do me a huge favor, when you see those come up, still participate, join me. If you would, give it a thumbs up. I know it's not Sebastian, but I do want to get that out there that Kohlberger is using the autism defense. And Lori Vallow, her trial's coming up. Remember, she was found guilty of unaliving, along with her cult leader husband, her 2 children, and in all of this, her husband's deceased, which is what she's going on trial for here. And then the cult leader's wife is gone, and there was an attempt to unalive Valo's niece's husband. A lot going on, a lot of conspiracies. And I think we could learn a lot from that case because family worked together in that case. They believe Alex, her brother, helped her with some of the things. So very interesting. Oh, Pippi Strong says they can get a silent. So if you guys would support those coming out, because we do want to watch those trials together. They're actually going to fall on times that I can watch them with you. So they can get a silent search warrant on her phone too. It's all about the wording they use. Burner phones these days are not as savvy as criminals think. The best criminals don't use any phones. Ooh, I love that last statement. The best criminals, Pippi Strong, that is a great statement. The best criminals don't use any phones. I love that. I wonder if Sebastian was wearing a pull-up. This would be evidence of drug toxicity. How so, my dear? I want to understand what you're saying. I wonder if Sebastian was wearing a pull-up. This would be evidence of drug in his gotcha. Yes, yes. That's a great point, Karen. That is a great point. Yes, someone brought up that it broke their heart that watching the entire Texas Roadhouse and walking in and walking out, KP never once touched Sebastian. Okay. And Della says his teachers gave him more human touch in a safe way. Thank you for saying in a safe way, because you know how the haters are than his mother. And I believe that. As teachers, oftentimes we're therapists, psychologists, we become their confidants, their safe space. I don't eat lunch alone. They come into my room now. I have a bunch of them. So yes, thank you for sharing that. And I'm glad he had a place to go where he did get, affection and love, proper love. So thank you all so much for being here. Hit the notification bell, please, 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 because I am going to share that theory with you all. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I have to think about the most respectful way for Seth, but I am going to get that theory out to you all. So I will see you all tomorrow night for sure. And I just truly appreciate you all being here with me and being such a wonderful chat. Do you notice we don't have the drama in our chats? It's so nice, isn't it? We have peaceful area to be able to talk about Sebastian. Hi, Jay. Let me go over some of the comments. Town Chat Cafe. It was Town Chat Cafe. From what I know, it was a dark Nissan. Yes, car, sedan. And yes, I know the year. If you want to email me, I can tell you what I've been told. crimetimebuzz@gmail.com. Hi, Jay. Why do you think, in your opinion, why no one has said anything to claim even part of the reward? It is baffling to me as well. I believe because this is a well-orchestrated group, ring, circle, whatever we want to call it. I think it involves a lot of different pieces. And those people, they're professionals at this, in my opinion. They're good at it. Now look this is ×2 with B-Socks, with Nina, that whole plan, and possibly being involved in this one. But I do believe that it is family. I believe it is family, and that's why no one has come forward to the reward. I think that even if they offered, I think, I don't want to believe this, but I'm afraid after I keep seeing it going up and up and no one comes forward, that the family is not, if it is just family, they're not going to come forward. I'm praying some low-hanging fruit was told something, saw something, and can step away from their fear or cowardice long enough to report it anonymously if they have to help us locate Sebastian. But Babs, what I would have to say to you is family, who's not telling on each other, and possibly people who know who they have things on each other. Okay. But I do think CP is the weak link. If they could put him behind bars, he is not a man who would want to go to prison. In my opinion, his mother has helped him out of every tight spot he's been in. And if they put him in jail, mom's not there to help. Okay. And so I think he would turn on anyone he needed to. And yes, it seems like they started getting to it when Dog the Bounty Hunter got on the case. Absolutely. When that FBI came out and put out that reward, I'm sure we had some individuals who were gulping and swallowing real hard and getting into fast motion if they hadn't been. Because there's two theories. They were dragging their feet, knowing what happened, overwhelmed, didn't ask for the right help, botched the case, botched the crime scene, botched it all, or they were overwhelmed. And then the other theory is they've been doing their thing. They just didn't tell us, which they don't need to. And it was probably smart the way things go, that because now that things get out, they worry, are their suspects going to run, or, this and that. So, two different sides of that coin. And hopefully we are going to get to trial very soon. And we will have our answers, right? Oh, it's been a long evening, and you all make it so pleasant and nice to come home and hang out with you all for a while. Yes, 2014. Thank you, Helen. And helping us discuss the case and work through it, because really what we need to focus on is law enforcement knows the who, okay? And you heard Mr. and Mrs. E tell you also that they think that law enforcement and officials, they do know who did what, or they do know what happened, and they have their suspects. And Mr. and Mrs. E said that it's the Proudfoots, and I'm saying allegedly because it wasn't told to me. And so then I gave you the information that I have. And so now where we're at right now is we all as his army need to locate him, and law enforcement needs to make some arrests. And that's what we're going to talk, it can be done without locating him. And so but then again, locating him might make it a sure shot that the people go to prison and Sebastian gets justice. So let's leave that in their hands right now, because we know big eyes are on it. I'm sending things way up. You all keep sending letters, bring it to people's attention, even in your state's legislature, because if they saw Nick Barris's post, imagine, and that's all they knew about the case. So send the videos, forward them to your congressman, or forward a letter, or write a letter or something and say, this is going on and this doesn't seem right. Would you look into this? The more eyes on this, the more people can't hide, and it won't go cold, because we never want this to go cold. We never want any children's cases to go cold. But coming up also, Sebastian, tomorrow I'm going to share some other things with you. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff. We'll see what happens during the day when I'm away, right? And just the slips of the tongues, the past tenses, the looking up, the looking down, the inconsistencies. I'm concerned. I don't understand why the vehicle wasn't put on the Amber Alert. It must have been not to tip them off, but I just don't have those answers. I really, really don't. I really, really don't. And if you change your name, do me a favor, email me. I didn't know that was you, Jen, in Georgia. I see now that you changed your name. Thank you. I like it too. I like it. My friends, thank you so much for being here. Please hit that like on your way out. We have less likes than people in the house. So if you would be so kind as to hit that like on your way out, and also subscribe if you would. And if you enjoyed yourself, and hit the notification bell so you can come back. All I hear is hearsay. Okay, so hope you all are have a nice rest of your evening. We are going to bring him home. Mods, thank you for absolutely everything you've done tonight. And welcome in, everyone, and have a great rest of your evening. Prayers up for Sebastian, all his loved ones, everyone searching for him, and that we will bring this young man home and keep everyone safe. Bless you all, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Thank you.